Global warming is triggering many changes to the environment. Permafrost soils are thawing. Heavy rainfalls are becoming more frequent. The result? More avalanches, mud flows, shallow landslides, and rockfall. Minimize your liability risks and responsibilities by installing only the best protective barriers. Those that have been approved under the most rigorous conditions in accordance with the type test ETAG 027 of the European Organization for Technical Approvals, IOTA. Why are GeoBrook protective barriers so effective? Let's hear from Marcel Sennhauser, design engineer at GeoBrook.
Was passiert, wenn der Stein
What happens when the rock strikes the surface of the net? It pulls the net towards the ground. The net itself is held by the support ropes. These have brake elements on the ends with a defined braking resistance. If the impact force produced by the rockfall is larger than the braking resistance, the brake elements begin to give way to the support ropes. That is ideal for the overall configuration of the ropes and lets the net glide like a curtain to wherever the rock is falling to earth. At the same time, the braking elements will absorb a significant amount of energy produced by the impact until the rock has been stopped by the barrier. In summary, the free gliding of the net along the ropes, as well as the carefully dimensioned brake elements, lead to a relatively mild braking process. A mild braking process leads to lower impact forces, and above all, lower anchor forces. And since our rockfall barriers operate as just explained, they are so effective. Depending on the hazard potential, we will supply barriers for impact energies of 100 to 8,000 kilojoules. For the 100 kilojoule, 500 kilojoule and 1000 kilojoule energy classes, the GBE rockfall barriers are fitted with high-tensile Teco mesh G80 4mm. No secondary mesh is required. GBE barriers in the 2000 kilojoule and 3000 kilojoule energy classes are equipped with Spider spiral rope nets S4 130. A finer secondary mesh holds back smaller stones. The Spider spiral rope net fitted to the 3000 kilojoule barriers is reinforced with a Teco mesh G80 4mm. GBE barriers in the 5000 kilojoule and 8000 kilojoule energy classes are fitted with Rocco ring nets. A finer secondary mesh also holds back small stones. For the shipment, the rows of Rocco ring nets are bundled together and marked, meaning that they can be fitted quickly and without problems to the support and transmission ropes. If a service road runs behind the rockfall protection barrier, we supply for impact energies of 100, 500 or 1000 kilojoules GBE barriers with specially reinforced posts which do not require retaining ropes. The nets are perfectly protected from corrosion by the layer of GeoBrook Ultra Coating, an aluminium-zinc alloy. Laboratory tests demonstrate a 10 times longer lifespan than for conventional galvanizing. The time spent installing rockfall barriers is a key cost factor in the cost calculation. This is why the design of the GBE barriers is installation-friendly, without compromise. Smaller anchor forces allow shorter anchors, reducing the drilling time. A maximum of 1 to 2 anchors are sufficient for the ground plates of the posts. Lightweight posts facilitate the assembly. The U-brakes are mounted close to the ground and only at the sides. The posts, which are pre-mounted with the nets at the factory, are easy to position and anchor using a crane or helicopter. The Teco mesh and the Spider spiral rope net are pulled along the support ropes like a curtain and connected to the adjacent net using shackles. The support ropes, directed through running wheels, prevent wire breakage in the event of a rockfall. All GBE barriers have been approved in accordance with the most stringent Category A requirements stipulated by the guidelines ETAG 027 Falling Rock Protection Kits issued by the European Organization for Technical Approvals, IOTA. The rockfall protection barriers were tested twice at 33% of the nominal energy without intermediate maintenance. The main test involved 100% of the nominal energy. The residual useful height measured was over 50% of the original structure height, fulfilling the requirements for the Category A approval of ETAG 027. If the approval body's test report is sanctioned by all IOTA member states, the rockfall barrier receives an official published ETA approval number and can be registered for a CE declaration of conformity. Once this declaration has been received, the approval body carries out annual inspections of the manufacturer's production process and components. You too can minimize your liability risks by exclusively installing rockfall protection barriers that, in accordance with ETAG 027 guidelines, have been tested in vertical drop tests, meet the most stringent Category A requirements, have been registered with an official ETA approval number, carry a CE conformity marking. GeoBrook GBE rockfall protection barriers for impact energies of 100 to 8,000 kilojoules have been fully approved in accordance with ETAG 027.